What if I told you the strongest hunter didn't just fight monsters, he became one? This isn't your typical hero's journey. This is the rise of a king of a Shadow Monarch. From red gates to demon castles, every battle is a step in Jin-Woo's unstoppable evolution. And today, we're breaking down the fights that prove he's not just the strongest, he's inevitable. Let's dive in.
我が名はバルカ。お前の名は何だ？孫ジン。
Part 1, Barca vs. Jin-Woo. When Jin-Woo and his crew entered what they assumed was a C-rank dungeon, they had no idea they were walking into a death trap, a red gate, the kind of place where no rescue would come, no signal could escape, and only monsters roamed freely. Kim Chul, the arrogant A-rank hunter who led the team, made the fateful decision to split their party in two. Jin-Woo was given command of one half, almost like an afterthought. But that afterthought became the front lines when they were ambushed by Barca and his ice elves. It wasn't just a skirmish, it was war. And in that war, Jin-Woo didn't just fight to survive, he showcased what it truly meant to dominate. Barca wasn't just strong, he was overwhelming. In sheer combat power, he outmatched Jin-Woo. But that's the beauty of Jin-Woo's power. Like Ain's Ul Gaon from Overlord or Lelouch from Code Geass, his strength isn't always in raw muscle. It's in resourcefulness, strategy, and the terrifying loyalty of an ever-growing army. An army he can always call on whenever he fights a stronger opponent, increasing his odds of victory before he even starts a fight. Mid-air clashes, rapid dagger parries, and elemental magic painted this battle in a chaotic yet beautiful storm. It's not just brute strength here, it's psychological warfare. In the end, Jin-Woo killed Kim. Kim Chul's death wasn't just vengeance, it was calculated, ruthless, brilliant, and oh so personal. I love this moment. It's Jin-Woo saying, "You're mine now," to a guy who probably thought he was untouchable. He raised him from the dead as Iron, reborn in Shadow. And with him, the tide turned. Igris, Iron, Kim Chul's Shadow, and the mages all moved in unison, a synchronized ballet of destruction. It wasn't just a fight, it was a testament to Jin-Woo's evolution. A team effort, sure, but let's be real, Jin-Woo and his shadows are one soul split across 1,000 bodies. Barca falls, his icy reign shattered. Jin-Woo wasn't just a hunter anymore, he was a general, a king. But here's what struck me the most, Barca couldn't be reanimated. Jin-Woo tried, and failed. Barca's soul resisted Jin-Woo's dominion. In a world where shadows fall under his command, Barca stood defiant, even in death. That in itself speaks volumes about the monster Jin-Woo faced and conquered. It's not just physical strength that makes Jin-Woo terrifying. It's the way he absorbs, adapts, and ascends after every battle. Part 2, Jin-Woo vs. Kargalgan. Now, let's talk about fear. Real fear. The kind that paralyzes grown warriors, crushes morale, and leaves even A-rank hunters speechless. That's what the team felt the moment they laid eyes on Kargalgan, the high orc chieftain whose presence alone warped the atmosphere. This was supposed to be a simple escort mission, carry equipment into an A-rank dungeon, and walk out with a paycheck. But when has anything ever gone to plan in Jin-Woo's story? Captain Sung Jin-Woo thought he was just borrowing a mining team grunt, a support role. What he got instead was a predator hidden in plain sight. Now, inside the dungeon, the team was captured without even a real fight. Dragged in front of Kargalgan, like offerings, after being brought down to Kargalgan, the leader of the High Orcs, he intended on torturing them to death for entertainment. Scared to death, Sung Jin-Woo laid a fruitless attack on Kargalgan. The others didn't move. Couldn't. That's the grip Kargalgan had on their souls. And right when death seemed inevitable, Jin-Woo stepped forward. What followed was nothing short of carnage. This isn't the underdog Jin-Woo anymore, he's a force of nature. The fight explodes into chaos, shadows clashing with orcs. Kargalgan's magic steals the show, gravity slams down like a trap from Naruto, then flips to anti-gravity, tossing bodies like ragdolls. He unleashes this Song of Fire move, flames dancing wild and gorgeous. Jingwoo's shadow army tears through the orcs, and when Kargalgan's spells take out a few soldiers, Jin-Woo just smirks and raises them again, including Kargalgan fallen soldiers, turning them against him. The orc boss loses it, goes full rage mode, but Jin-Woo's untouchable. Poison? Useless. Curses? They bounce right off. Kargalgan's a magic beast, yeah, but Jin-Woo's built different, immune, relentless, a walking counter. It's over fast. Kargalgan's down, and Jin-Woo's barely breaking a sweat. He's not just a fighter. He's a mage, an assassin, a necromancer rolled into one. Kargalgan had flair, no question, but Jin-Woo's got depth. He walked into that dungeon stronger than the boss from the jump, and he proved it with every move. Jin-Woo didn't just survive Kargalgan. He dismantled him, layer by layer, spell by spell, until there was nothing left but silence.
Genga! 今だ！重点的に上げた筋力と支配者の手があればここまでだ！
3. Jing-Woo vs. Baran. Jing-Woo's journey to secure the elixir of life, his desperate attempt to save his ailing mother, is not just the mission of a hunter. It is the mission of a son, a human, and a force beyond comprehension. Guided through the treacherous domain by Essel, a demon girl whom Jing-Woo once captured, but now calls an ally. He gathers the permissions and keys needed to ascend to Baran's lair, and it leads him straight into the heart of the Demon Castle dungeon, where the supreme Monarch Baran awaits. Baran descends atop Kargalgan, his monstrous wyvern, unleashing an unrelenting storm of elemental fury, thunder, fire, lightning, each attack more devastating than the last. The battlefield becomes a canvas of chaos. Jing-Woo's shadow army fights valiantly, but it is Igris, the ever-loyal knight, who makes a pivotal move, slaying Kargalgan midair and turning the tide of the battle. What was once a war in the skies crashes to the ground. For a moment, victory seems tangible. Jing-Woo, flanked by Igris and what remains of his summoned forces, charges at Baran. But the illusion of advantage shatters when Baran annihilates the shadows in a brutal counterattack, forcing Jing-Woo into solitary combat. With his mana depleted, revival impossible, he stands alone before a monarch. This battle was nothing short of astonishing. From quick reflexes to godlike speed to a near-perfect VFX. Every strike, every dodge, every breath carries the weight of Jing-Woo's conviction. In the end, as Jing-Woo finds himself on the brink of death, he digs deep into reserves no man should possess. With the last of his strength, he delivers a devastating strike, so powerful, so final, that it severs Baran's head in a single defining moment. The monarch falls, and Jing-Woo stands victorious, a hunter who turned despair into triumph. To me, this wasn't just a battle. It was a coronation. Part 4. Jing-Woo vs. the Ant King. If Baran's defeat was Jing-Woo's awakening, the battle against the Ant King was his ascension, a spectacle that shook the entire world and cemented his place as the strongest hunter alive. The fourth raid on Jeju Island was meant to be a joint triumph between Korea and Japan, an alliance of S-rank hunters united in strength and purpose. Together, they swept through the island, crushing winged ants and even eliminating the queen ant. Victory, they thought, was within reach. But then came the king. He emerged like a shadow draped in despair, an apex predator among apex predators. One by one, the S-rank hunters fell, including the legendary Goto Ryujin. The battlefield, once alive with coordinated strikes, fell silent under the crushing power of a single being. And then Jing-Woo appeared, not walking, but exchanging places with a shadow soldier. An ability that mimics the sleek, tactical movement of characters like Gojo Satoru in Jujutsu Kaisen, who bend space and defy logic to protect the innocent. What followed was a duel between two monsters, one born of nature, the other forged in death. The clash was immediate. Their power rippled through the air like shockwaves from a nuclear core. From blinding speed to daggers that moved like streaks of light, the battle became a high-speed symphony of death. Even the S-rank hunters watching from afar could not track their movements. To them, It was as if gods were fighting on a plane beyond comprehension. The animation, the effects, it was reminiscent of Demon Slayer's pinnacle moments, where beauty and brutality merge into something unforgettable. Jin-Woo was never on the back foot. From the very first exchange, he was the stronger one. The Ant King said this himself as he realizes the might and raw power of Jin-Woo. Sensing the shift in the battle, the King Ant began to falter. And then came the moment, the unleashing of upgrade mutilation, a devastating skill so overwhelming in force and finality that even the King Ant understood. Escape was the only path to survival. But there was no escape. With calculated fury, Jin-Woo executed the Ant King, and in doing so, claimed his throne atop the hunter hierarchy. And yet, the true terror of Jin-Woo's power lies not in victory, but in what comes after. Every enemy slain becomes another soldier in his infinite army. With each battle, each defeat, his forces grow. He is not just a hunter. He is a legion. And with each fight, he becomes something greater. Every monarch fell, every threat crushed, and with each shadow he claims, Jin-Woo doesn't just win, he evolves. This is only part of the journey. And trust me, it only gets darker from here.
次の獲物はドイツだ。